Easy people, welcome back to my channel at Big Steve MCFC. And this is just a quick video. It's been 1 week only since we lifted the European Cup in Istanbul. It's been 1 week only since we won the treble, like Phil and Gary Neville. It's been 1 week only since Big Steve told United fans about the new list, and it's really upset a few. So I'd just like to say I don't give a fuck about that. So do the list and we'll talk. But listen, Blues, what a week. Still digesting it, still coming to terms with it. Been watching the game back, watching Rodri's goal back, seeing all the celebrations, been watching the Man City channel, the coverage of it all. And yeah, it doesn't seem real. It doesn't seem real. Got to shout out a lot of rival football fans, proper football people that have messaged and said, congratulations, Steve. We know you've been down there with Man City and you and your supporters have been there through thick and thin. You deserve it. I respect it. Even the Man United supporters that I grew up with, the ones that I was talking about on that list, the ones that kept giving me these little added on extras, you got to do this, you got to do that. They even messaged and said, fair play, Steve. You was right on your list. We can't say anything now. There's only ever been 2 trebles done in the history of English football, both done by Manchester teams. But yeah, and like I was talking to a guy the other week, he was one of the guys that said they'd rather beat United in the derby, in the FA Cup, than win the European Cup. Well, let me tell you, he's changed his mind. He's messaged me and said, Steve, there's no other feeling like it. There's no other feeling being a European champion. There's no other feeling being a treble winner. And I agree with him. The only thing that's changed for me is the hatred. The deep hatred that this club's getting online is a joke. 115 charges. You'll never be a big club. We've got more followers than you on Instagram. We've got more followers than you on TikTok. How can you be a big club when you can't fill your stadium? You know, all the usual nonsense. And I can't lie. It's glorious to see the meltdown from other teams. Instead of concentrating on their own sides and their own failings and where their team went wrong, they're going online at all hours and trying to just have a go at Man City supporters, Man City fans, like we're asked. You know what I mean? We've just seen our team win the treble. The Premier League, we came from 8 behind and won it. The FA Cup, we beat our nearest rivals, the other treble winners in the final to clinch it. And then we went to Istanbul and we beat Inter Milan 1-0 to win the European Cup, our first ever European Cup. I can't stop smiling. I can't. It just doesn't seem real, man. It just doesn't seem real. It gets me emotional. And no one can ever take that feeling away from us. Nobody can ever take that journey away from me and the rest of the City fans out there. You can say what you want online. You can. But this smile, it says it all. You know what I mean? This chest is out. I'm 10 foot tall. I'm ready for the new season. And just as you think, it can't get any better than that. Khaldoon, Al Mubarak, the chairman, the leader of Manchester City Football Club, this morning does his interview. And for those people that haven't seen it yet, go onto the Man City YouTube, type in Khaldoon interview, get yourself a cup of tea, sit back and listen to the man speak. Because I tell you what a man, what a guy. And if you go back through his interviews over the last 10 years, everything the guy says comes true. Everything the guy tells you what's going to happen, happens. And listening to him sat there today with the European Cup behind him, yeah, fair play to him. Him, Sheikh Mansour, Tixi Bugastine, Ferran Serrano, all the backroom people that are involved. What a club. What a club they've created. They came into Manchester and we didn't really know. Was it one of them fake shakes? Was this going to end in tears? Were they going to take money out? Were they going to sell the ground? We just didn't know what was going to happen. You know what I mean? We didn't know. But they came in and listen, they've delivered beyond all our wildest dreams. The treble, the European Cup, Manchester City. Wow. But Khaldoon speaks really well. He talks open and honest. He was talking about people trash talking the club, saying we got the biggest squad, which is a lie, saying we spent the most money, which is a lie. And, you know, he was quite complimentary of everything Pep Gvardiol and the team and what they've achieved. And consistency is the word he used a lot. This club is now consistently at the top level. This club is now consistently winning trophies. And that's where we needed to be. And there's another term that keeps getting thrown around online at the minute. You'll never be a big club. Okay, now I think that is used by people who are very insecure about their own status of their own club. They're very, very insecure about their own team not being labelled a big club. Now, let me just tell you something now from a Manchester City supporter of over 35 years. I don't care if Dave down the road, John in Wales, Patrick in Ireland, yeah, or somebody in Singapore wants to say that Man City are not a big club. I don't care, because I would rather be a small club winning the treble and the European Cup than a big club that wins fuck all. So keep going, guys. Starting to look a bit laughable now, starting to get a bit childish. You know, the finances don't lie. The trophies don't lie. The history that we're building doesn't lie. So, you know, in 10 years' time, the kids growing up, will they look at Man City and say, you're never a big club? They might be looking at Man City and saying you're the biggest club. So be careful what you wish for, because there's no sign of this club slowing down. And all I'd like to say to Khaldoon is thank you. Thank you on behalf of me and Manchester City fans all around the world that didn't think there was ever going to be light at the end of the tunnel, that didn't think we'd ever quite get there. You know, maybe the odd League Cup or an FA Cup, we were going to be happy with that. But what they've done and what they've built and what they've achieved in Manchester has just took this club to the next level, to the elite level, to the European top table. And we've just got to keep doing what we're doing, Blues. He mentions the atmosphere. He mentions the Etihad Stadium being a fortress. He mentions the fans, the way they've galvanised this year. And that's something I've been pushing on my channel, about all the supporters pulling together and getting behind the team in important games. And we've done it. And look what happens when you do that. You can get the team over the line. We got the team over the line against United in the FA Cup, and we got the team over the line in Istanbul. That atmosphere in Istanbul, in the town and around on the Sunday and all that, well, I'll never forget it. And it just shows you where we are as a club now. We're moving in them circles where we need to be. So we've got to keep going. Just want to touch on something that's causing a bit of controversy. Let me have a bit of brew. The Charity Shield. 5:30 on a Sunday. Absolute joke. Absolute joke by the FA. But we know they don't give a shit about us Blues. People are on about boycotting it. It's 50-50. Some are boycotting it. Some are not boycotting it. Some are saying we should do it. Some are saying we shouldn't do it. Some are saying we're going to look like idiots with the stadium half empty and get loads of grief. Some are saying it makes a point. I get both sides of the argument. I really do. We have been shit on by the FA. We have been shit on in the FA Cup final with no trains. You know, these ridiculous games. This could have been played on a Saturday. You know, the FA could have subsidised trains for everybody after what they did in the in the final. So I don't know the ins and outs of it, and I don't know how far this protest is going to go. I do understand that Manchester City Food Bank, there's a lot of people donating to the food bank rather than go to the game. I'm going to make a donation to the food bank regardless if I go to the game anyway. But yeah, I've had people message me and say, Steve, let's get behind the boycott. I've had people message me and say, Steve, let's not boycott it. It'll make us look stupid. Let's get behind the team. Do you know what I mean? It just feels a bit daft to punish our team by not turning up because of these FA mongrels that have no respect for us, you know. So I'm going to sit on the fence with that one at the minute. I don't know where I lie with that. I've not made any plans for the Charity Shield. But MCFC Food Bank, if somebody who works for the food bank wants to get in touch with me and I can put stuff on my story and help the food bank, that's no problem. I can do that. I'll get involved and help the food bank, no problem. Other than that, it's pre-season. We've had some England games. Rodri's won the Nations League with Laporte. I've seen that. What a season Rodri's had. Absolutely fantastic player. Unbelievable at the minute. You know, the song, you know, Let's Talk About Rodri was bouncing in Istanbul. Fantastic to see. He's had a great season. He deserves a break. Brings us nicely onto the transfers. There's been a few transfer speculation today. Kovacic from Chelsea is apparently close. He's not anyone I would have linked City with. He is a good player. I do believe if Gvardiola's looking at him, he reckons he can get a tune out of him. He's not massive money. He's going to come in. Will that signal the end for Calvin Phillips? I don't know. I'd like to see Calvin be given another chance. I'd like to see Calvin, you know, work hard. I spoke to him briefly at the players' party, and he seemed to be focused on next season and coming back and proving himself. We've been linked with Declan Rice. I think Sam Allardyce mentioned the Calvin Phillips swap deal with Declan Rice. So I don't know where that came from. We've been linked with Gvardiol. We know all about Gvardiol. I think Gvardiol's a decent player, and I think he's a good signing. He's left-sided, can play left-back, can play centre-back. I think he's perfect, especially if Aymeric Laporte leaves, which, looking at his body language, looking at the way he was getting upset and that, I think he will leave. I mean, in my opinion, he deserves to play week in, week out somewhere. If he can't get in City's team, Pep doesn't fancy him, then by all means, he needs to go somewhere else and play because he's a quality player. Riyad Mahrez. We've heard some stuff about Riyad going to Saudi Arabia. The Saudi Arabian league at the minute is moving mad. They're offering big money. I think they just signed Ruben Neves. They're after Koulibaly. They've got Ziyech. They're making big moves in Saudi Arabia. There's a lot of money. A lot of clubs, players are gonna take the bait and go there, which it is what it is. It's a money game. If we can get 50, 60 million for Riyad, would any City fan turn that down? Has Riyad's time at Man City run out? He didn't play regular last season. Does he want to go and play regular? There's all these things you got to consider, you know. And then there's Kyle Walker. Been a great servant for the club. Great player. Helped us out massive last season, especially against Real Madrid and Vinny Jr. and that. There's talk of him going Bayern Munich. Me personally, I can't see it. I don't think Kyle Walker's that kind of guy. He's going to move abroad this late in his career. I think he's got family over here. I think he's a Yorkshire lad. I think he's going to stay in the Premier League. I can see Kyle signing a new contract, to be honest, and just spending his days here. Maybe go Sheffield United end of next season or something, or whatever. But I just can't see him going to Bayern Munich at the minute. Cancelo, for me, my thoughts on Cancelo are clear. He's got no future at the club. I don't think City fans want him back. I don't think he probably wants to play for us. We've got to find a solution. So when you look at it, we've got a lot of players there. İlkay Gundogan on a free transfer. Broke my heart to see him on the free transfer list the other day. I still think City's got a slim chance of keeping him, but I think his heart's set on Barcelona. I think he likes the City and he wants to go. After the season İlkay Gundogan's had, to lose him on a free would be difficult. But on the other hand, Blues, if we lose 3 or 4 or 5 players this summer, people might panic, but it's a chance to freshen the squad up. It's a chance to get the hunger back. It's a chance to make sure that this squad level doesn't dip. After the season we've had, after the treble we've had, to keep the levels this high, it's going to be tough, let me tell you. You know, we could have a drop-off this season. We could. Or he freshens it up, 5 or 6 new faces, and we go again. That's what I'm hoping happens. Bernardo Silva again, talking about Bernardo maybe going to Paris Saint-Germain. I mean, why you'd want to go there at the minute, the way it is over there, I don't know. But that's up to him. You know what I mean? That is up to Bernardo. But other than that, if them players go, we're going to need replacements. I think City are active in the transfer market. We've just made 300 million plus off the treble. I think we can have a big, big window. I think we're entitled to that. I think we can freshen it up. The academy players, Mcfc, Doyle, are they going to be in around the first team? Are they going to get loans? Cole Palmer, on about getting him a loan out there to Burnley or something. Big up Burnley as well. First game of the season. Fixtures announced. Burnley away. Vincent Kompany Friday night. Under the lights. Can't wait. Can't wait. But listen, I'm going to have a break this pre-season, or I'll try. The Super Cup, I've already booked it in Athens against Seville. I'm looking forward to that. That's something different. And we just got to relax. We've got to relax, Blues. We're champions of Europe. Yeah? We're champions of the Premier League. We're FA Cup winners. We're treble winners. We've got Pep Guardiola, who's going to go away and refresh. We've got Khaldoon, Tixi and Saran working it around the clock. And life right now, being a Man City fan, is the best it's ever been. It's the best it's ever been. So we've just got to enjoy our summers. We've just got to relax on the transfer front. Let Pep deal with it. Let Tixi deal with it. Are we going to lose players we probably don't want to lose yet? But we've done it before. We lost Yaya. We lost David Silva. We lost Vincent Kompany. You know, we lost Sergio Aguero. But one thing this club does is always gets the timing right. We always let the players go at the right time. Fernandinho last year, we were all upset and we won the treble. So trust the process. I know that's a word Arsenal use, but trust the process, trust the manager, and trust in this football club, because this season's been the best we've ever had. And I think next season could be even better. We've all got to go away, refresh, ignore the haters. Don't listen to the bullshit. You know, we're Man City. We're the most hated team on the planet now because we're right at the top of the tree. And everybody below is throwing stones, trying to knock us off. So good luck with that, you know, because it doesn't seem like this football club is slowing down. And these supporters that you sang Champions of Europe, you'll never sing that. Where's your treble and all that? Well, them supporters are coming to a ground near you next season and they'll be singing the exact same songs back to you. Have you ever won a treble? Have you fuck? Have you ever won a treble? Have you fuck? You know? So all them Villa fans with the mobile phones out with the European Cups against the glass and all. It's none of that anymore, lads. None of that anymore, lads, because you're going to get this. Where's your treble? Where's your treble? So it's good. Life's good right now. But listen, Blues, if you've got any ideas for content for me during the summer, anything you'd like me to do, give me a shout. It's going to be hard when there's not a lot to talk about. You know, day-to-day life gets busier now and there's not an awful lot. I don't want to let the algorithm drop on my channel because it's doing really good numbers. Please leave a comment below. I'll always get back to you. Please hit the like button. Please share my streams on other platforms and that. And yeah, listen, Blues, it's been a journey. And I want to thank every single one of you this season that's been behind me. Every single one of you that's come up to me at the game, shook my hand, you know, told me I'm doing a good job defending the club and that. It means a lot. And let's enjoy it, Blues. It's been a long, difficult season, but we're champions of Europe. We won the treble. Manchester City Football Club, the best in the world. See you all soon. Love for the love.